My name is Malvika Gupta and today's topic is searching problem, and in this searching problem I am going to discuss jump search, which is a part of data structures. So first of all I will be explaining you about the outlines which I am going to cover throughout this lecture. So if you see, this is the outline: introduction of jump search, overview of binary search, calculation of number of jumps, and then runtime analysis. Because this is very important, first of all I need to tell you what is actually the jump search is. Then secondly, because this is a kind of variation of a binary search, so we will be discussing about the little bit of overview of binary search. Then because as I have mentioned over here that this is a concept of jump search, so basically we need to find out that how we are calculating the jumps, the number of jumps, how many jumps we can take. And at last, because any of the algorithm if we are discussing, so it is very important for us to analyze what is the runtime complexity of any algorithm, right? So this is the introduction of jump search. This is a searching technique which is generally called the variation of binary search. Okay, as we know, generally what we did, if I consider the example of a linear search, then again we are taking a jump of one by one, right? I am doing the concept like this. Let me select the pen first. Suppose I am doing this I++. So this is also a concept of jump, that I am taking a jump of one by one. But now jump search is having a certain new things that we can also select, we can also jump for 4 blocks, 3 blocks, that will depend, and that also we will calculate how we are identifying all those things. So it is basically a variation of binary search based on binary search. Now the concept, the next concept which I need to explain you, because every time I am talking about binary search, so it is very important to have a little bit of an overview about what exactly is binary search. So we all know that binary means 2, it means bi means 2. We are dividing our array into 2 parts, left subpart and the right subpart. The left array will contain all the smaller elements, then the middle element which we are going to calculate, and I will show you the algorithm how we are going to do that. And the right subpart will contain all the elements which are greater than the middle element. So as I have earlier told you also, that jump search is based on binary search, and it's a variation of binary search. So this is an algorithm of binary search. I have taken an array A, low index value, because if I have, suppose I have taken an array like this, so this will be 0, 1, 2, as we all know that an array starts with value 0, an index value of 0, and it will go up till n minus 1. So what I am going to do, this is my lower index and this is my higher index, and then this is the key which I have to find out whether it is present in an array or not. This is just a basic idea of a binary search. If lower, now the concept is this, that how this particular procedure will going to work. If the lower value is less than equals to the higher value, it means the lower index is less than equals to the higher index, till then we will be running all these statements or all these instructions. Otherwise we have to stop and we'll come out of this loop and we'll go back to the main statement, main function. So if the condition is true, then what I am going to do, I am going to calculate the middle index value. So middle index value is 0 plus 5, and then this is divided by 2. So 0 plus 5 will come, because it is an integer, 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2, because it is an integer value. So we all know that an integer divided by an integer is always an integer. Or else you can also think of something like this, that we have a function which is called a floor function. So most of the time, if nothing is mentioned or nothing has been told to you, then every time we will be considering by default a floor function. So floor function will always take a lesser value, right? So now the 3 statements I have given you, that if suppose A of mid, it means this middle value, if I have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now before starting with the procedure, the first and the foremost thing is this, that why I have considered this array. This is called a sorted array. So sorted array means in a binary search you have to take, it is mandatory to take a sorted array. Only then you can be able to apply the binary search. Now suppose my middle element is this one, this is my mid. So what I am going to do, A of mid is less than key. So I'm just identifying whether my key element, if suppose I am going to search for 5, this is my key element. If this element I am going to search in this particular array, whether it is present or not. So I have checked it like this, that A of mid is less than key. If it is yes, then what is this? I am not going to search in this part of an array, I am going to search only in this part of an array. So what will happen? This will become, my binary search will become A mid plus 1, because I have to move from this side. So my lower value will get changed and it will become mid plus 1, which will be 3, and then last value will be 5. It will remain as it is. Same is the case with the lower part. If suppose my key value is less than the A of mid, so simply what you are going to change, you are just going to shift your higher index to this side, to the left hand side. So your higher value will become mid minus 1. And if you got that, you always get a middle value, key value on the mid index. So if it happens, so you'll return the mid value. You can write it as mid plus 1 because this is the position of an element which is existing in an array or not. Right? So this is the basic concept of a binary search. Now if I move to the calculation of jumps, because this is all about jump search. So what is jump search? As I told you earlier that in linear search also we are doing a jump. I am taking this array, and this is also a concept variation of binary search. So I am taking a sorted array 6, 7, 8 and 9. If you see, this is an array of 9 elements. I am giving the indices, right? So these are my indices. Now the question arises that I need to find out, by 1 we can easily do that, but how to get jumps of 3, 3 or 4, 4? How I am going to specify that these many jumps are required to do? So if suppose I am taking an option like I have total number of elements is equal to n, and I am representing number of blocks or number of jumps by m. So it shows that my jumps will be like this. My array will be divided according to this part. Okay, so this will be my jumps. Now next part is this, that suppose if I have provided this block, suppose I have 9 elements and I have got 3 jumps. I am just letting it like blocks, I am taking only m, 3 blocks. So it will be like this, 0 to 2, then this one, and then this one. These are the 3 element blocks which I have taken. Now what will happen? According to this, if you have to search in a particular block, then we will be applying the concept of linear search, because this is very simple. You can either apply linear search or binary search, but I am using the concept of linear search in this. So what will happen? Linear search will take time. Suppose my element is lying in this, I will explain you the entire process how to get it. But if you are searching your element in this particular block, so it will be taking only m minus 1 time. It will require only m minus 1 searches to reach this particular. Either your element will be present in this or your element will not be present in this. So how to calculate this one? N by m, the way you are dividing into number of blocks, plus m minus 1 for searching. Okay. So with this also we can calculate the time complexity and your basic how many number of blocks are required. So what I am going to do, because this will minimize the things, so for minimization we know we have a concept called differentiation. So I am differentiating this concept, this entire term with respect to m. N by m plus m minus 1. Okay. So if you differentiate it with this, I am writing this on here, this part. If you see, this is m raised to the power. You all know how to do this. So d by dm, it will become n m minus 1 plus m minus 1 like this. So if you differentiate it like so, it will come and equals to 0. So it will be like this, minus n upon m square. Differentiation everybody knows, right? This is 1, minus 1 will become 0 because this is a constant term, is equal to 0. it will go to that side. So n by m square equals to 1. Then again if you calculate, it will be like n equals to m square and m equals to under root of n. So this is how you are going to calculate the number of jumps. And this is the way, because we have differentiation we have used to minimize the time complexity, minimize the number of steps. So in the same way, we will be having the complexity in order of under root of n. So this is the time complexity also we have calculated, and we have calculated number of jumps also. So I have told you that my runtime analysis and my time complexity for this one is order of under root n. So you know that for linear search we have a time complexity of theta of n, or you can call it as order of n. Binary search we have order of log n, and then we have for jump search we have the complexity of root n. Now you can see, as per the growth function, we know that this is the smallest one. So we can use this concept for the searching. Right, so this is an array which I have taken. Before discussing the entire procedure, let's discuss that how we are going to do this. So this is a sorted array, because jump search is a variation of a binary search, so that's why it is a sorted array I have taken. This is 0th index, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Right, n minus 1, as we know the characteristics of an array. Now what I am going to do, first of all I need to calculate the number of jumps which I should take, right. So number of jumps will be, we have already calculated this in this video, that it will be under root of n. If you go to this side also, that we have calculated, the number of blocks will be under root of n. So suppose m equals to total number of elements. So my total number of elements is 9. So under root of 9, we all know it is 3. So it means I have to make the blocks of 3, this one, like this, and this one. Okay. My key element which I am going to search is 75. So I need to find out whether 75 is present or not. So how I am going to do? First of all, I will start my loop from here only, from this part. I will be checking whether this A0, now listen to this very carefully, A0, because I have already divided it into 3 blocks. So if A0 is less than my key, the element which I need to search, if it is less than, then I will move to the next block by taking a jump of plus m, which is 3. So if A0, so you see A0 is 40. 40 is less than your key element, which is 75. So 40 is less than 75, true. So it means that you will move to the next one. It means my next jump will be from 3. Started with 0, 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. So at 3 point, now my pointer is here. This is my I. Okay, my pointer is here. Now you will check again whether this A3 is less than or your key value, which is 75. So it is again true, because A3 is 60, 60 is less than 75. Condition is true. Now what will happen? Again I will take a jump of 3. Now my previous step was 3. 3 plus 3 equals to 6. So my pointer will move to this one. Okay. Now you will check my A6 value is less than key value. So A6 is what? A6 is 90. 90 is less than 75. The condition is false. Now what will happen? We will come back to the previous block from where we have started. It means that I have moved with I plus m. Now what I have to do, because this condition is false, so what I will do, I will come back to I minus m. And then from I minus m till this particular block, it means the current position of I before that. Before the current position of I, from here, from this part to this portion, I will apply the concept of linear search, and then I will search my element as per the concept of linear search. Okay. So if you write the procedure of a jump search, we can write it like this. Suppose this is, I am taking jump search, an array I am going to pass, number of elements which is required, and a key element. Okay. So first of all, I need to calculate the number of blocks which is required. So m equals to square root, because you are going to use the concepts of any programming language. So I am using as per the concept of C language, so it will be sqrt function. So I'm writing it as like this. So it will be m equals to square root of n. So you will get, according to this value, m equals to 3. Now again, next step what I am going to do, because I have to traverse an array, and from that array only I have to search my elements. So I equals to 0, I is less than n, my total number of elements, it will go n minus 1, and I am doing I equals to I plus m. So it will take a jump of m elements, right? Then what will happen, I am doing, if a of I, my element is less than key. If you remember that this is all what we have done, we did in the last step, that if my value a of 0, the value in my array, the position where my index value is there, is less than the key, then what I am going to do, I have to increment by m and move further. So what I am going to do, I am using the concept jump statement called continue. This is the statement I am using. So what will happen, a0 is less than key. So as we know from here, a0 is less than my key value. Yes, it is true. So continue statement will take it back to this particular, at the position of increment, wherever the increment is happening. So increment is about 3, so it will go to I, it will change the value of I from 0 to 3. Next, again it will go, now my value has become 3, the pointer is here, again it will check with this concept AI. So A3 is less than key, so now you again can check, A3 is 60 and then it is 75, so yes, it is true again. So again there will be continue and there will be an increment of 3, so 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. A of 6 is less than key, so if you see from here, your A6 is 90 but your key value is 75. So again what will happen, 90 is less than 75, which is wrong. So the condition becomes false. So what we have to do when the condition becomes false, I am just going to do else and break. I am coming out of this loop. Okay, so if I come out of this loop, then what I can do, I am writing this code on this side. So what will happen, now you have to go for another loop. So I am taking one more loop. J is equal to, because it means that I have identified that now my element will be, if it is present in an array or if it is not present in an array, there will be a block where from where I can say that yes, the element is present or element is not present. So J is equal to, I am starting with I minus M. You know why I am doing this? Because my position was this much and this condition was false, so I have to return my control back to this position. And how I am going to come to this position? I minus M. Okay, and I have to run this particular loop from here to here, which is I minus 1. Why I am taking I? Because when I have left this loop, I have exited this loop, my value of my I was 6. So if I do 6 minus M or 6 minus 3, it will by default become 3. And then J is less than I minus 1, it will be equal to J plus plus. And then in this you can apply the concept of linear search, and you are very much familiar with the concept of linear search. After this your jump search will get it. So this is the entire concept of the jump search. These are certain references which you can also refer, the books you might be referring to. So this is all from here. So thank you.